Senator Kennedy has stated that the state has $4.3 billion in statutorily dedicated funds that could be easily undone by a simple majority vote of the legislature. John Bell Edwards, when he was campaigning, I have video footage of him actively saying he would pursue that avenue. Can you state as to why, you'll have to speak as to whether your group has looked into that versus strictly looking at tax reform, but can you speak as to why that seems to not be even on the table by anyone and is not being pursued? I mean, you had Jay Darden did show up and poured total cold water on the idea and referring to then Treasurer Kennedy as a, quote, Senate wannabe. So can you enlighten us as to why that side of the equation is apparently not being studied, statutory dedications and repeating them to where these cuts could be spread out over a much broader spectrum?
Question about statutory dedications and why that has not been looked at or whatever. I would say they have looked at it. The committees have been, I think, for some period of time taking a look at some of these things in a broad sense. But here's the issue with that. Just because you can do it, it requires the legislative will to do it. And even though they have talked about it and the dedications have been talked about for whatever period of time, unless you can get either a majority of the legislature for a statutory dedication or 2/3 of the legislature with a vote of the people to actually make those changes, you just don't get anywhere. And the other part I would say is, all of those things again have constituent groups, and they were dedicated for a reason. And it doesn't mean that I agree with all of those, that they were the right reason, but for whatever political thing or for whatever other thing, they have been put there, and the legislature has affirmatively said, we want to protect those with extra protection. And in some terms, in cases of the Constitution, the voters have said the same things. I mean, to be honest with you, on a lot of the big ticket things that are constitutional dedications, I just don't see them, or the people, we the people have dedicated all of those things. And I don't see that the appetite is there when you put those things out there to say, do you want to take away this dedication to protect the coast? Well, they're not going to do it. And, so I do think people have taken a look at it, and I do think there are opportunities to do some things there, but I just don't think there's been a legislative will on most of those things, because when you look at those issues, the legislators are saying, I'm fine with that.
Well, not to put words in your mouth, but would it then be saying the path of raising taxes is an easier path?
I don't know if raising taxes is an easier path. I think that's almost something you have to ask them. I mean, we've been doing this, really, let's be honest, we've been doing this for about a decade right now, almost a decade. And we've had different groups of legislators in, 2 different governors, all kinds of opportunities to do this and to make some other structural changes that people have been talking about as well, to close universities, to change the way higher education operates. We've had all kinds of people to throw those things out and to debate those, and we're still where we are right now. So that suggests to me that there's either no political will on any side of the equation to do it, or that they've decided that they kind of want to leave things as they are.
Thank you.
Yeah.